Hello everyone, this is MMA Interesting Prospects podcast. Today our guest is Henri Lintula. Hello Henri, how are you?
Hey man, I'm good. Getting ready for a fight this Saturday, so just cutting a little bit weight already and getting ready for a fight.
And tell me about this fight, because you are fighting Becca Temliani on the Roots of Combat show. And please tell me about your opponent.
Yeah, Begas, he's a young hungry guy coming from Georgia, I think with a kickboxing background, I believe. He's pretty aggressive striker, good striker, and a good overall fighter as well. So it's gonna be a good challenge, and I look forward to it.
Yes, I think that he is a good challenge as far as I can watch some of his fights. I think that he's overall a good fighter, so it's a good challenge for you.
Yeah, definitely. And it's going to be interesting, so I look forward to it.
And is that a main event of the show?
Yeah, it's actually in my hometown, fighting for the first time here, so kind of excited for that one as well. So.
Okay, so it's like a little bit additional motivation for you, right?
Yeah, for sure. And a little bit more like a pressure as well, but I like it. So I've been like looking forward to this for a long time because I never fight here before, so it's gonna be a good experience to fight in front of family and friends.
And please tell me how your preparation goes for this fight. How many weeks did you train before this?
I did like a 8-week camp. So the first 4 weeks I did in Phuket, Thailand. I trained there, and then I came back here for the last like 3 or 4 weeks and finished the camp here. So it was, I haven't done that before, but it was good experience, and Phuket's it's good. Like there's so many training partners, a little bit new coaches, and everything. So it's a challenge, but it was good.
Yes, and except US, I believe that Thailand is like the main go-to country to train because of so many gyms are there.
Yeah, in Phuket, it's crazy how big it is. Like there's so many big MMA gyms around there. It's like I've never seen a place like that.
Okay, so what's the plan for this fight? Would you like to finish your opponent quite quickly, or you prefer to I don't know, to fight for a little bit longer?
I think I'll start like feeling out a little bit, and then like slowly getting into gear, because he starts pretty aggressive, so I don't want to run straight into him. So just take it easy a little bit, and then slowly get into the fight, and eventually start to look for the takedowns.
Because you are the finisher, you finish all your opponents. You are 6 submissions and 1 knockout, and it doesn't matter whether it's first round or second round. You finish all of them. So I think that you might go for another one.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised. I feel it's a little bit strange because I don't myself feel like I fight that aggressive. They just seem to happen, and when the opportunity comes, then of course you have to go for it. So, but I'm prepared to go for 3 rounds this time if he's up for it.
And please tell me about your brave journey, because you had one fight with Luis Glisman, and was it a one fight deal, or do you have a chance to fight another time for Brave?
No, that was just a one fight deal. Like we did that one, and then see how it goes, and we haven't been in talks with them since. So.
Okay, so you maybe get another chance for the bigger organization when you defeat your next opponent.
Yeah. I think this will be my last fight in Finland, and after that I look to go fight abroad We actually got some very good offers already before at the beginning of the year, but we had already planned this event in my hometown, and I couldn't pull out for another opportunity, so I have to get this done before, and then we go.
Okay, and please tell me about your beginning with the sport, because I know that you are a great grappler. So did you start with BJJ? Was it a first sport that you train?
Kinda. I started at the gym I train at now. It was a new gym back then, and we basically only had MMA and BJJ. So we trained a lot of BJJ, but it was always to fight in MMA. It was a bit weird back then because it's been a while, and so we trained with a gi, but we all wanted to fight in MMA as well. So that's why it's like grappling heavy style, I think.
Okay, and we can see this in your fights that you have this heavy grappling style. You are either try to submit your opponent or beat him a little bit, and then try to choke him. So we can see it in your fights.
Yeah, definitely. Like in the beginning, I had many fights. Like I basically only trained BJJ, so I didn't know any striking when I had my first MMA fights. So of course it was really grappling heavy, and now little by little I've been trying to round out my skills. So I'm not just a BJJ fighter anymore. So I just want to round it out. But of course that's still like my strongest weapon. So.
And do you start in some grappling competitions?
Yeah, I did couple grappling competitions, and then I did few MMA fights, and then but I've been always pretty much since I started I've been competing in grappling as well. Now last few years just mostly no gi, but in the beginning with the gi as well. So.
And do you have like dream matchup in grappling? The guy that you would like to face?
I haven't been following grappling so much lately. Like now, I think maybe 3 or 4 years the focus has really been on MMA. Like in the beginning, I tried to do both. I wanted to compete in both, but now it's really just MMA. And I think the grappling is something I'll get into when I'm done fighting. So that's like my retirement plan. So.
And where do you see yourself in the future? Do you plan to be in the UFC, Bellator, maybe PFL?
I think PFL and Bellator are good options, but the goal has always been to get to the UFC. That's the the pinnacle of the sport, and that's where I really want to go. So everything else is good, but is not great.
And UFC had some shows in Scandinavia, not Finland, but in Sweden, in Denmark one time. So maybe this year not, but next year the UFC will be back in one of the country from the Scandinavia.
Yeah, they've been doing a few shows in Sweden, so getting to fight there would be great, like a dream come true. I've fought in Sweden before, like for Brave and Fight Club Rush, so it was good to fight there, like good experience. They treated me really well, so why not UFC?
And you started your professional career in 2016, right? And you have eight fights. So because of the number of these fights, it's like one fight a year. And was the plan to fight one time a year, or there were some external factors like injuries?
Not really injuries, but in the beginning we just had hard time getting fights. It was really hard for me to find fight shows to fight for, so I only fought once a year. Then when it started to get a little bit better, like I had 1 year I fought I think 2 times, and then right after that, like the COVID thing started, and it took me out for like almost 2 years. So that definitely wasn't planned. So now this year it's been good. So it's my third fight since September, and that's the kind of pace I would like to fight at, because I'm not getting any younger, so I have to do it now.
Okay, so like 2 or 3 more fights this year.
Yeah, I think at least like this one and maybe 2 more, then that would be good.
So in 2024, you can be in the UFC because it will be long winning streak, and
Yeah.
then because of your friendly style, it would be perfect.
You said it. I'm up for that.
And what do you think it's a toughest style for you to fight?
Of course, somebody who I can't take down, or even if I don't want to take down. Like so far, my fight in Brave against Luis, that was tough fight because he's such a good grappler as well. I didn't really even want to try to take him down, and that didn't turn out too well, that fight. So that's definitely something we've been working on, to fight guys like that, because sooner or later it's gonna happen. Like you're gonna run into good wrestlers or somebody like that, and you have to have more weapons. So that's why we've been trying to round out my skills as well.
And do you have a dream matchup in your mind? The fighter that you would like to fight in MMA?
Man, I only have one loss so far, and I'd love to get a rematch with that. So.
And after watching your fights, I think that you and Gunnar Nelson would be a great fight, either in the stand-up or on the ground. Of course, that Gunnar is in the UFC, so it will take a while. But stylistically, I think that it would be like interesting both here and on the ground.
Definitely. That would be great, an honor to fight a guy like that. Like he's done a lot for the Nordic MMA, and would be great to get in there with him. Hopefully, I can get to the UFC before he retires.
Yes, because he's either in the rankings or close to the rankings for 10 years, so it's really proven veteran.
Yeah, he's been with some of the best fighters in the world, and proved he can definitely hang with anybody. So that'd be a tough fight.
And how popular is MMA in Finland? Because there is a big cage organization, there is a route of combat, so it's a little bit, a lot of is happening right now. But how popular is the sport there?
It's unfortunately it's not like too big. Like it's getting better. There's more fight shows than like a couple of years ago. It wasn't too good, but it's getting better, but still not great. Like we're behind most of the big sports here, like ice hockey and football and stuff like that.
And who do you think is the best fighter from Finland in history of the sport? Because there is Makwan Amirkani, there is Tom Niimäki, Teemu Pakalen, Anton Kuivanen. So there are a few fighters that were in the UFC for a while.
Yeah. I think like when you think like what they've done, like Makwan, he did by far the best in the UFC, so he'd be pretty obvious choice. But from my experience, I think I'd have to go with Niimäki. He's very well rounded, very good fighter. So I'd go with him.
He even defeated Rani Yaya, I believe, in the UFC. So also a great grappler. So
yeah, that's like Rani Yaya is one of the better UFC fighters, and Tom beat him. So that's impressive, really impressive.
And I saw in your Instagram that a few years ago, you were training in City Kickboxing Academy with Israel Adesanya. So please tell me how this experience goes, and what did you take from this journey?
Yeah, I spent 1 month there in New Zealand, Auckland, and training with the City Kickboxing, not just with Israel, but with all of the guys. And it was great experience. I've never seen that well-run gym. Like they had everything planned. They had a lot of pro fighters, and like I think there was more pro fighters in one gym than we have in whole of Finland. So, and a lot of high-level coaches as well. So it was good experience, and many of the guys were getting ready for the UFC Auckland. So I got to watch them close how they prepare for UFC fights. And yeah, I took a lot of that home. Like I try to travel because I'm from a pretty small gym, so I like to travel around and like to try to pick up things and then bring them back home.
Yes, and you were in the New Zealand, in Thailand right now, so you will take this part of knowledge and go to the Finland and just show the techniques, the mindset, everything what you can take from other parts of the world.
Yeah, definitely, because MMA is still quite a bit behind in Finland, like those places like Thailand or New Zealand. So instead of learning everything the hard way, I think it's good to travel around a bit and like kind of steal a little bit what they're doing and try to implement it here back home.
And you are a really tall fighter as the welterweight. So please tell me what are the advantages and disadvantages of being a tall?
Yeah, definitely in the stand-up it helps. I have pretty long reach, so that's something we've been trying to work on to make my jab and my front kicks and stuff like that I can use safely from the distance, and then kind of force the other guys to close the distance on me, so then I can like get straight to grappling. So instead of like me trying to close the distance the whole time, then like I want to make them to come to me, and then like when they bridge the gap, then I like go for the takedown.
And you are fighting for a really long time, for many years. And what do you think is the most important thing to become an MMA fighter?
You just have to love the training. That's it. Like that's how it happened to me. I had no plans to be a fighter. I just loved the training, and then when you train enough, like it comes like naturally. Like why not have a few fights? And it was never the plan to be a fighter. It just happened.
But I believe that it's good for you because you are on such a high level. So you are, even if it wasn't a plan in the beginning, you are really close to being on this really the best, the top level in the world. So maybe it was an accident, but it was great for you.
Yeah, you just have to put in the hours in the training room. That's the most important thing. Like the fighting's the small part. It's what happens in the training, and just have to show up and do a lot of work. So then you'll be ready for a fight then.
Okay, and let's talk a little bit outside of fighting. Some time ago, I read an article that Finland is for the 6th time the most happy country in the world. So please tell me what is about Finland that people are so happy there?
To be honest, I'm not sure if that's too accurate. Like I've seen the articles as well, and in Finland it's almost like a joke that we win it every time, because I don't think that's a good reflection of Finland. I don't think we particularly like a happy people, but it's get dark here and cold in the winter, but everything works here. Like Finland's a relatively safe place to live, and people can live their own lives, and I think that's the key.
This magic key to happiness.
Yeah, like just don't bother other people too much and let people do what they want to do. And but yeah, still I wouldn't say it's the happiest country. I think.
Yes, and 6th time in the row is it's really many times.
Yeah,
to be honest.
I know. I don't know who they asked, like how they make that poll, but we'll take it. We'll take it.
Yes, because I thought like my first thought was about the weather. So not everyone is like built to live in the countries where it's cold. So I thought that maybe it would be like Italy or Spain where it's warm.
Yeah, definitely. Like I try to travel in the winter time for a reason. I like to get away for a little bit because the winter is so long and dark. So it's nice to get to see a little bit sunlight.
And please tell me about Sisu philosophy, because your team is called Sisu,
Yeah.
right? And if you can tell me about the overall concept of this Sisu.
I think it's like a Finnish thing. It's in essence, it's just you do what you gotta do. Like not like complain too much and just like get on with it and get it done. And I think it's good for the fighting as well. So you just like get on with it. You do your training and don't complain and just get on with it.
Yes, and especially when times are tough, it can really help.
Yeah, and like I think the biggest thing is like I don't know really how to explain it in English, but like complaining is not gonna make things easier. Like probably the opposite. So you just like little by little you get the job done, like one step at a time.
And how do you deal with this stress before your fight? Do you have some ways to deal with it?
No any like secrets or anything. I think just with the experience, like it's been getting better. Like in my first couple fights, because I hadn't trained any striking or anything. I had only done BJJ, and like I was so nervous. It was horrible, like horrible. And now the more I have trained and more experience I have, like I've learned to enjoy like the fight week and like the fight night and everything. Like I just try to soak it in because they are like special moments, and you're only gonna have so many fights in your career, so might as well enjoy them, like the good times.
Yes, and after the time you will remember them in a really good way. Even if they are tough right now, after a few years it will be like, oh, I was there and I did it.
Yeah, and like in the end, it's only gonna be 15 minutes of your life, so it's not too much. So it might hurt for a little bit afterwards, but it just comes with the sport.
And what do you like to do in your free time? Let's say that you are after the fight and you can't really train. What it's like perfect day for you?
Now actually, I just booked a trip to Greece. It's a couple of days after my fight, so just get away, get some sun, and eat good, and like enjoy life. To go to the beach and stuff like that. So, because the fights are getting ready for a fight is very taxing mentally as well. So, if possible, I like to get away for a little bit and just think of like do normal things what people do and not think about fighting for a little bit. But
yes,
I can't stay away. Yeah, I can't stay away for too long though. Like it's 1 week and then I'm back to the gym because I start to miss it. I go like I start to get nervous if I'm not training, so I have to get back in there.
And do you have a bucket list, like the list of things that you would like to do?
Yeah, like fighting wise for sure, and I think now fighting in my hometown, that's definitely one of the things I get to tick off the bucket list. Then of course, fighting in the UFC would be big. Like that would be like that's the end goal, definitely. Not just getting to the UFC, but like making a career out of it. That's the goal. And then just to get to travel the world, see different places, fight in different places, and see different cultures and have a good time, you know.
So do you think that there is a chance to see you in the UFC either late this year or like beginning of next year?
I think there's always chance. It's gonna I have to have a couple good fights, and then a little bit luck, and who knows? Who knows?
Yes, and I think that you overall have really good record, and after a few fights, it will be even better. And of course, your skill set. I think that your finishing abilities are that what fans love to see, not this like sometimes not really interesting wrestling style or like clinching, but like finishing skills.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you, man. Yeah, on my travels, I've been able to train with a lot of high-level fighters, and I feel like I do pretty well with them. So why not? Let's go to the UFC.
Okay, Henri. So good luck in your next fight with Becca Temliani. This is this Saturday, and I hope that you will win this, and there will be no injuries that will take time from your career.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to talk with you, man.